perceiving divinity within and everywhere. Let us bow to the all-pervading consciousness. To all the masters of all times and all places. Bow to the entire creation and let us bow to each other. Since last 3 years, little more than 3 years, I'm not usually talking. Since last November, almost every day, 1 hour satsang. Today little more, it will be closer to 2 hours. Otherwise 1 hour, sometimes no. Like yesterday, and after a long time, in such type of talks, during last 3 years, I spent more in seclusion. And just to tell you, I have no internet, no telephone, no means of communication. Once I leave the airport, till airport, you are here, I am with you, some way to communicate with different places. Once I leave and enter the security area, finish. God is my means of communication. And smile is the language with love. That's all. I enjoy to be in silence and seclusion, but I am not selfish. Also, I love to give whatever is within me by grace of the Masters and to share. Life is time, life is a flow, life is one-way traffic, there is no U-turn. A moment gone is gone forever. How we utilize our time, our moment, that matters. However, to be here with you this evening, I consider it as a blessing. I love New Zealand. You don't ask why. Sometimes people ask me, apart from India, which countries you love the most? I said first Iceland. They looked at me like this. I have been to Iceland for this type of programs. I do not get it. Just love has no origin. So also Poland. Next is Colombia, Bogota. Next is Iceland. New Zealand. Next is New Zealand. It is a nice inner feeling to be here in New Zealand. And also this evening with you all. I knew there is a public program although there is no public in this world, because we belong to one family. I just wrote, before I opened my mouth, you might have heard on my magic slate. What is the topic? Silence. No. How long? Silence. Is there any question and answer? Also silence. I smiled and he smiled, and that's all. Do you know, every night, usually night, but nowadays because of globalization and outsourcing, the world becoming one market. So there is no time, people work at all hours of the day or night. Strange. However, the world is going in that way. But every day, for few hours, we enter into complete silence. Complete silence means no mind, no thought, no body consciousness. Knowingly or unknowingly, normally, effortlessly, if there is crisis in getting this state every day, we run to the doctor, complain that I don't get sleep. Sleepless nights is a health hazard for the body and the mind. The doctor, modern times, mostly they will give you some tablets to take. A funny brand name in India for such type of tablet is Campos. A tablet to sleep, sleeping tablet. Every day for some hours we enter into silence unconsciously. That silence is needed. But intelligent people, wise persons, enter into that state of silence every day consciously, purposefully. That they call it as meditation. Consciously to enter into silence for a short time is more effective than few hours of so-called deep sleep. Refreshing, energizing. I started observing silence apart from this sleep. From the year 1969 onwards, I was a little boy of 9-10 years old, reading some books on Gandhi, and that was the centennial year of Gandhi. I wanted to observe silence. And not only silence, I also love to begin regular fasting. So then I thought, which day to observe silence? Because every day is full during our time, from Monday till Saturday school. So Sunday is the only day I decided to observe silence and also fasting every Sunday. Parents were unhappy. But in some way I was very strong in my own decision from my childhood. You might tell a stubborn boy. If stubbornness is not admirable always, but I like it because it has saved my life. If I decided something, I did it. from my childhood. So Sunday silence. Then when I grew up a little bigger, came to college and stayed away from home, I had more opportunity to be silent. Every day, few hours silence. From early evening, next day morning. No talking. When I grew up little bigger, vacations, holidays, silence. Only in my life I got 2 times the opportunity, this time, this period of 3 years or more. And in the year 2012, 13, for an extended period, not to talk. It is so interesting. And the more interesting to the, in silence, without any modern way of communication, to miss the flight. And to tell you, by God's grace, not like yesterday we flew together. It is the rarest of the rare. Since last 29 years, I have been traveling, touring all over the world. Most of the time, I travel alone. Nobody with me. After the checked-in counter, in India also, it is not possible for others to enter the airport. Once inside, it's alone. It's so nice. You miss the flight. How God takes care of you. No way to communicate with anybody. That's surrendering to the will of God, to maintain silence. And it is more interesting in immigration and customs. You are not talking, so I have this tag in silence. I saw them from the very beginning. I am in silence. Different countries, different cultures, but respectful. It is amazing, whether it is America or Australia or New Zealand, whether it is any European countries or elsewhere. Once they see this, sometimes they become curious and ask, why silent? Are you not able to speak? I write, yes, I can speak, but why? They are curious. Traveling with this type of dress, this type of, you enter the aircraft, people look, they think you are from Mars or Mercury, they are from this beautiful planet Earth, but I want to tell that I am not from Mars and Mercury, I am one among you. I smile. Now no talk, just smile. It's nice. And do you know, in silence we talk more than our verbal expressions, our finite words. And silence communicates beautifully, and best example of silent communication is the baby and the mother. If you have seen or anybody who is a mother knows how beautiful baby of months, not talking, just looking, little smile, with the eyes, with the gesture, with the there's so much of communication. When the mother is complaining to the doctor, my baby has problem in vision, it is not a story, it happened in Odisha. The doctor asked, it is too young, how could you know that baby doesn't see? She said, I am a mother, I know it. Mother knows more than the doctor. However, during the period of my silence, to be with you for 1 hour of verbal communication, to speak. we all are human beings. We have been blessed with brain, the spine, and breath. Human brain, if it is compared with other animals, it's unique from biological, medical point of view. Human spine, as we all know, we are human beings. We keep our spine most of the time straight, erect and perpendicular. While most of the animals they keep on this earth, whether they are very powerful, like elephant or us, or very cruel and aggressive, like lion or tiger, but they keep their spine like this. Monkey, dog, they keep the spine little more, and monkey can sit like this. How much do we use our brain? How effectively we use our spine? And the third I told you, breath. Our success in life, our success is not only in material accumulation, possession. Our success is really in attainment of calmness, peace, love, joy, happiness in our daily life. Depends upon use of these three: the brain, the spine, and the breath. The yogis of India since time immemorial, because when I say time immemorial, I just mention you. Once I was delivering a talk decades ago in University of Vienna in the Department of Psychology. I asked them, have you ever heard the name of yoga psychology? They looked at me, we never heard. I asked, how old is the study of modern psychology? They answered, they gave it date. I said, it is much older than this. It's yoga psychology, which speaks of human mind, human intellect, human ego, human memory, and how to train them, train the mind, train. They looked at me with a little bit curiosity because, many times we think that modern time is more developed one. It is true. Human civilization has passed through many ups and downs. And the yogis since time immemorial have found out how to use these three special gifts of God to all of us. And if we know how to use it, we will be really productive and specialized in the science of life, the art of living, and become better person. Really, our success, our richness in good health, good mind, good brain power, good memory, productivity in physical, mental, intellectual activity, everything depends upon these three: brain, spine, and breath. Kriya Yoga meditation technique, I come a little bit, it's based on these three: brain, spine, and breath. Spine should be flexible. Brain should be provided with more oxygen, and art of breath control along with concentration. is the basic foundation of the meditation technique like Kriya Yoga. By God's grace, as a college student, I met my master. And by His grace, His love of my master, I'm talking about, He allowed me to be very close to Him. And He was to me. It is not that I am telling because He is my own teacher. I have come across many spiritual masters from my young age, even till now. He's the most caring, loving, down to earth, very, open person. More than 2 decades we spent together in physical communication. And spiritual communication is much beyond and much longer, and it is continuing. Spending time with Him and meditating, practicing Kriya Yoga technique, it has transformed my life. I cannot describe how much. Just to tell a few words about the background. I was born as a 7 months old baby in a remote village. No electricity, very minimal medical care. And from my birth, you can imagine, I struggled just to survive. Everything was the most difficult part in my life. And then when I grew up a little older, then asthma. Acute asthma, breathing trouble. Unable to eat and digest food, normal, regular food. And so, by God's grace, only this was alright. Except that, if you think body as the motor car, it is one old damaged motor car. Although it was young. Through practice of Kriya Yoga, through His guidance, physically I became much and more healthier. And again to tell you, till the age of 18, 19, not a single day was spent without medicine, without going to the doctor, and so on. Thank God, later on I experienced, enjoyed very good health. Goodbye to doctors. Although I love doctors, and we have health centers, healthcare facilities in India where our doctors come and serve. But I'm talking from my personal physical point of view. So, what is this Kriya Yoga? Some of you might be curious, those who do not know. And those who know, I tell them to practice it. When you enter this premises, you might have seen that it's written age-old traditional, it is their meditation technique, practiced by saints, sages, and Kriya Yoga meditation technique is ordinarily practiced by the householders. If you look at the lineage, this second in our lineage, Sri Lahiri Mahasaya, he was a perfect householder, father of few children, having full-time job. Monthly income was not enough to run the family, so to have some other work, part-time work apart from full-time job. The wife did not know what the husband is meditating, because He never took the time from the wife or the children, from job or other activities. He meditated when the wife slept. Wife did not know this. He is meditating. Very quietly he did. Kriya Yoga meditation technique is handed down by the teacher to the student, not in public lecture like this, but in a different session, very intimately, closely. And as I told you, it is based on breath and using the brain aspect. I will tell a little about breath. Breath is life. No breath, no life. All living beings, plants, animals, or humans, we all breathe. Others breathe as they need. The dog being tired will open the mouth, will breathe with the mouth. We the human beings have the ability to learn the mystery of breath and the technique to regulate breath. My Gurudev said, breath mastery is self-mastery. Breath control is self-control. Simple example, in anger, if at all, anytime you are angry, I hope you are not. If you have observed yourself, or if you have seen somebody who is angry, or at the time of passion, or in the time of stress, anxiety, or fear, how is the breath? If you are peaceful, or if you observe the baby is sleeping, or some near and dear one is sleeping, you observe the breath. How is the breath? From these two extreme examples, it is clearly visible to each one of us, observing our own breath, observing the breath of others. When mind is restless, mind is agitated, the breath is restless and agitated. When mind is peaceful, calm and quiet, breath is rhythmic, slow, and sometimes very feeble in deep meditation. Ordinary person breathes 15 times per minute with normal human activities. One breath, 4 seconds. The yogis calculated 21,600 breaths in 24 hours. When one becomes angry, the rate of breath increases from 15 to 25, 30. When we breathe fast, what happens? The body doesn't breathe properly, fresh air doesn't go inside, the body doesn't get enough oxygen. Just to inform you, the total oxygen which we intake into the body through our breath, major portion of oxygen is consumed by this little brain. In the body, the brain is the capitalist, consuming, using maximum portion of oxygen than the rest of the body. My Gurudev said oxygen is the nutrition of the brain. In the yogic process or in your daily life, I will tell you very simple 2 techniques to you. You can practice even if you are not initiated into Kriya Yoga in this lineage. One is make your breath consciously slow, long and deep. Very simple thing. You can practice it. You can experience and enjoy its benefit. Another is watch your breath. What's your regular breath? These two things, if you can practice, these are the foundation of Kriya Yoga, at the same time the means of breath control. Life will be regulated to a great extent. As I told you, the brain consumes the oxygen, and how to provide more oxygen to the brain? If you tell me to sit on the chair with legs down, like you all, it is a punishment for me. You'll ask, why? Is it not comfortable? To sit like that, with crossed leg on the floor, and when I have to sit on the chair, I lift up my legs and sit crossed legs. It is so easy and comfortable for me, although sometimes the legs will feel a little numb because of less circulation. Do you know, when one sits like this, I'm not encouraging you to do this, just I'm telling you, there is less circulation of blood in the lower part of the body. Natural, because it's closed like this. And when there is less circulation in the lower part, there will be more circulation in the upper part. Very simple logic. More blood is provided to the. When we become angry, more blood comes to face. Face becomes red. We scream and shout, and more blood comes to the muscles. If we express anger in physical way, become violent. If we take food, more blood goes to the stomach. If one is passionate, sexually excited, more blood goes to the other part of the body. If one meditates, more blood goes to the brain. Meditation with breath control or breath regulation, as I told you, the brain gets more oxygen. The brain becomes more active, fertile. Through meditation, we can clean our brain, our memory, erasing and deleting useless files from the computer of the brain, only keeping the useful files necessary. So the brain becomes more dynamic, not overburdened with garbage of information. Just to tell you, since last 3 years, I am not reading newspaper. No internet, no emails, I told you. And from my childhood till now, no television, nothing. Nothing. Previously, I was looking at the newspaper headlines. Mind was curious. Now, without this, nothing. Somebody tells this happened, all right. Somebody comes and tells, thinking that it might be useful for me or I should know it. That's fine. Otherwise, there is no need. I am a social being. I am living in the society, living with you. But ordinary news, information, it is no doubt informative and exciting. But in what? Just to think from what? However, keep your brain more active and free. Do little exercises daily to keep your spine a little more flexible. Flexible body, flexible spine, flexible life, accommodative and adjusting. Stiff body is painful body. Thank God, by God's grace, I have a flexible body till now and so-called active body. Yesterday, mostly I am an indoor animal. You'll ask, what does it mean? For example, today my outdoor time was short time in the morning I came out. And now for this short time, otherwise the rest of the time, and most of the time inside my room. So that's why I'm telling you, work indoor. Whenever I start walking, just like airport is the good place to walk. Yesterday when I got little freedom to walk, coming out of the airport to the parking area, others were complaining or remarking, we were walking too fast. I told this body is also getting old. It's natural. No, you are not old, you are young. You are telling about me, if I am young, what about you? So, to keep body active, little exercise and some spinal exercises helps to keep the spine, brain and breath regulated, which in turn helps to keep the mind fresh, memory dynamic and life beautiful. Thank you all. The first question was about love. The description of love as says Narada is speaking how love is, how to speak of love. He said, you think of one person who is unable to speak. Feed him delicious food. And after delicious food, ask how the food is. And but he will speak or she will speak. Tell me. Something, physically you just. And in the words of says Narada, Mukha Aswadana Pat. It is like the expression of the mute to describe the delicacy of sumptuous meal. In the real state of love, there is no word. It's teardrops. Real love is in pure silence. And the expression of love is in that state of union. I am not talking of physical union, it is the ultimate. The next question I was asked about breath, yogic breath. Kumbhaka and so on. I told you very simple thing. Slow, long, deep breath. It has nothing to do with holding the breath. Just inhale slowly, exhale slowly, as is your capacity. Or just prolong it. Even by walking, you can also do it. 4 steps inhalation, 5 steps exhalation. Whatever is comfortable for you, just do it. And normal conscious breath I spoke. It has nothing to hold or any other intricacies of so-called breathing techniques. I was asked the most difficult question. Why do I have this colored clothes? I remember my beloved Gurudev, one baby, not baby, one little girl, asked long ago, Baba, why have you kept beard? Gurudev smiled, and out of, humor, he said, a sadhu has no money to this much. So Gurudev could not realize at that time, he told me later, that he will be in difficulty because of this type of reply. Years after, Gurudev visited that family, maybe 1-2 years after, that little girl came with a piggy bank with coins and telling that it is for you. I have saved it all these months and years. Save your face. Gurudev told, even in humor, don't speak untruth. You will be in trouble. He was telling about his own experience. My sweet one, I put on this color clothes because my Gurudev has given this colored clothes. I love him, I love his advice, and that's why I'm putting on it. But for me, it has. In India, the monks put on, some put on these, some put on white like Baba there, some put on yellow, some put on many different colors. It is like uniform. You know, the police, their uniform, military uniform. So it is the uniform of the monks. You will say that among monks, why fight and fight? In military, you know, in army different color, navy different color, air force different color. So the Baba different color, this different color. So it's putting on one color clothes is very easy. How many pairs of clothes I have? Nobody knows. One color, if it would have been different colors, so you need many different pairs. So it is easy. Thank you, my sweet one. The next one was asked about, if I understood clearly, it was related to the life after death. I hope so. Quoting about our beloved Paramahansa Yoganandaji, and if I tell you his experience with his beloved master, which you can find in his autobiography, Resurrection of Swami Sri Yukteswar, that chapter speaks a lot about life after death. Life after death, there is a book published by our ashram, Dancing with Death. When I will die, if I come back, then I will tell you when to take. Do you know, it is better to dance with life, live a life joyful, meaningful, purposeful, loving, caring, sharing, than thinking of death and thinking of, yes, physical death is inevitable, it will come, but not to be worried. The last question which I was asked, if I understood clearly, it is about the breath during sleep. If a yogi or if a person is practicing breath control and conscious breath throughout the day, it continues naturally, effortlessly during sleep. During daytime or wakeful time, our art of breath control is also continuing in sleep without any conscious effort. So practice it and enjoy it. And your sleep will be better sleep. Your sleep will not be ordinary sleep, it will be yogic sleep. Your sleep will also be educative in many ways. If you practice breath control in conscious life, Sri Lakshmi Mahasaya said, forget about silence, he said about meditation. Khub সাবধান ধ্যানের সময় মন যেন কথা না বলে Be careful during your meditation. Mind should not chatter. Ordinary mind is talkative mind. Even if you do not want to speak, for example, but mind speaks with it. Listening to others talk, mind wants to join, speak something. Mind is very notorious, mischievous, untrained, and mind is not a good friend ordinarily. Mind is mostly non-cooperative. Mind knows you more than what you think you know yourself. You'll ask, is it so? The yogis tell that the mind comes from life after life with memory, even if you don't know. Today you are thinking I will be a yogi, the mind knows, many times you have tried and you have failed. So mind will be non-cooperative, but through your determination, as I told you, my stubbornness, I have to do this, I will do it. Suppose I decided not to eat. Not to eat means not to eat. Be strict to your mind. So mind will slowly become more obedient and docile. Mind once trained and becomes obedient is the best friend in our life. It takes time. Thank you all. Thank you all for giving this opportunity to me to spend some time with all of you. Let us sit silently for a minute and inwardly pray for ourselves, our family, and the entire creation.